Our last operation was a resounding success, and all thanks to you, Ray here of Solnari. In total, we apprehended 32 dregs of the Crimson Moon, and 67 accomplices.
After all these years since the dynasty's fall, so many of them still linger on.
Indeed, it cannot be denied. Yet it was destiny that the Crimson Moon should be overcome by the eclipse, and that His Majesty, the all-seeing Vinster King, now guides our nation on the path to prosperity. Conria has no further need for a dead moon. But alas, there will always be those who refuse to see the truth, choosing instead to romanticize the past.
That's not entirely true. Much about the Crimson Moon era was worthy of remembrance, and that's exactly why they keep trying to see it restored. Many of its secrets remain unsolved to this day. As it happens, that's precisely the field of study my partner is devoted to.
You still haven't told her what you really do for a living.
Where would I even start? How do you tell someone that you're one of the king's hand-picked executioners? That your hands are steeped in blood?
You didn't choose this life, any more than I did. Orphans like us don't get a say.
But I'll sure as heck be the one to pay for it. Speaking of which, we need to be more rigorous in the way we identify direct descendants of the Crimson Moon. Someone, it seems, has strong opinions about my future plans. Most likely my marriage in particular. I have a feeling that we may soon become targets of the Crimson Moon's retribution.
Your concerns are not unfounded. They've taken out many of our colleagues these past few years, and for that very reason. These are no... Take care, Ray here of Solnari. I look forward to toasting you at your wedding.
Thanks, Thorkel. You look after yourself, too. Thelindis, I never wanted to keep this from you. You're the last person I would ever want to lie to. But that's exactly why I can't tell you everything. There are things you shouldn't know. Things you cannot know. The moonlit dynasties are a thing of the past. Yet even now, with the sun shining high in the sky, there are those who would call forth a dead moon's ghost. Could that be why Vedalfnir held back? Or was it because of some court secret he's not at liberty to share? I have to get a clear answer from him. No matter what happens, I will protect Thelindis.
Rerir seems to be very concerned by Vedalfnir's reaction. Vedalfnir and Dainsleif, the Visionary and Twilight Sword. So that's what they were really like. I've investigated this whole area now. There doesn't seem to be any other memories here. Should I try somewhere else? Wait a second. What's this black smoke?
So, he's late after all. Just you wait, Rerir. You're in for it. Big time.
Are you waiting for someone, ma'am? Could I tempt you into buying some flowers?
Oh, sure. Pick me out a pretty bunch if you would.
Thank you. But I'm afraid none of them are as pretty as you.
For someone so young, you sure have a way with words, don't you?
I'm only telling the truth. Look me in the eyes. You'll see I'm not lying.
You're...
May we have a word in private?
Who are you? And what do you want?
It doesn't matter who I am. Too many of our kind have fallen lately, so I decided to take the risk of reaching out. Not long ago, the Ray here of Solnari led an assault on one of our strongholds. We suffered many casualties, and many who came to our aid lost their lives as well.
Sorry, I don't know why you're telling me this. And I don't want to get involved.
Wait, hear me out. This time we finally got a clear look at his face and learned his true identity. His name is Rarier, and he claims to be one of the King's guards.
What did you say?
A cruel irony, isn't it? The man you're set to marry leads a double life as a brutal executioner. But surely, you must have caught a whiff of the blood on his hands.
Why are you telling me all of this now?
Simple. It's because...
How strange. Rarier was nowhere to be seen in that memory. It clearly belonged to the Lindis. Rarier couldn't possibly know what happened if he wasn't even there. Why would her memories appear in his fragment? The ceremony won't last much longer. I think it's time to call it a day.
So that was your doing? Did you just pull us inside Rarier's fragment to spy directly on his memories?
Any more questions, and I'll have to start charging.
I had no idea you could do that, boss! Seriously, that was amazing! We're not worthy. We're not worthy! I gotta admit, though, I'm itching to see what happens next. Feels like we barely scratched the surface.
I'm just as curious as you are, but the ceremony only allows for limited time inside. That's all we can see for now. Luckily, we managed to learn quite a lot.
So far, so good. I just hope the others are doing okay too. Especially the group with the Traveler. Their mission is a risky one. Let's hope it's all going smoothly.
If you're worried about them, go see how they're doing.
If I know boss, she's gonna need some time to write up all the details and make sure it's all coherent. I'll stay behind to lend a hand, but feel free to head back and meet up with the others.
Oh, they've been prowling around for nearly 2 days now. These things just won't quit. Oh, they might not have seen us yet, but them constantly sweeping the area, our way out is completely blocked. Oh, that's never gonna work. One little slip up and it's game over. If they spot us, they'll run straight back to Rarier, and once he knows we're here, it won't be long before he's breathing down our necks again. Oh, guess you're right. All right, time to zip it. Oh, there's no end to these things!
Fire.
Fire? Wait, what's that smell? Oh no, there's a fire!
Zandrone was right. You look weak, Columbina. The old you would never have let such lowly creatures bar your way.
Word has it that you did something for the Tsaritsa, and that's why you've lost most of your power. Freedom comes at a heavy price, doesn't it?
It's Arlecchino! You came!
Hello again, Columbina. And greetings, guests of the House of the Hearth.
It's been a while, Arlecchino.
Stupid right here of stupid Solnari. Ugh, whatever. I've got all the data I need. Next time we meet, you're finished. He sure doesn't pull his punches.
Excuse me, do you need a hand?
You can do me a favor by staying out of my way. Can't you see I'm busy? Wait a minute. I recognize that voice.
Hello, Miss Sandrone. Father sent us over to help.
Huh. How considerate of her. Hey, Fremine, get over here and help me fix this. Lenny, you do your thing. Just keep your sister away from my machines. Nearly every machine that cat girl touches ends up going haywire. Go put her on cleaning duty or something.
Then let's start downstairs. Fremine, we'll leave this place to you.
You've got it.
Wait a second. Pretty sure there's still some tea in the cupboard. If you want some, you'll have to make it yourselves.
It's a relief to see you all made it back in one piece.
Huh? Feels like there's quite a few people missing. Where's Flint's and the others? And what about—
I returned ahead of them. Flint is helping Ino and Anefa to set up the decoys and buy some time. As for Miss Nefer...
Boss is still wrapping things up on her end. She sent us back to fill you all in on the top secret intel we've been gathering.
I see. Then let's get right into it. But first, who do we have here? You brought someone else in to help?
Greetings. I was invited here to help as a longtime Tea Party companion of Columbina's. You may call me Arlecchino.
Surely it can't be.
Those eyes. Oh, where have I seen them before? Wait, of course. In those memories we just saw.
The only Arlecchino I know is the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. So either you share a pretty uncommon name, or you're more than just a Tea Party buddy.
You are well informed, Grandmaster. A man from Mondstadt living all the way out here in nor-kri, and yet the people and affairs of Snezhnaya seem to hold a special place in your heart.
Oh, the feeling's mutual. Sounds like you know all about who I am, too.
A Fatui Harbinger.
The atmosphere in here just got really tense. Guess we can't just start trusting Fatui Harbingers, even at a time like this.
I must admit, though, I'm a little curious. Seeing as the moon goddess no longer belongs to the Fatui, what makes you so willing to put your neck on the line here?
Nor does nor-kri belong to Mondstadt, Mr. Varka. Yet still, you're fighting for it all the same. Things don't always have to have a tangible payoff. Sometimes, stopping things from spiraling out of control is a higher priority than chasing the spoils of victory. Of course, I can't say there's nothing in it for me at all. But that's between Columbina and myself.
Forgive me. I don't mean to doubt you. It's just that the Fatui really have been the source of many of our troubles. We have our own way of doing things here in nor-kri. But ever since they arrived, the Fatui have treated us with nothing but hostility.
I know there's been a lot of bad blood between us in the past. I've done my utmost to avoid friction whenever I could. But sometimes fundamental conflicts of interest simply can't be settled amicably. That's why I'm here solely in a personal capacity. This has nothing to do with the Fatui. As a gesture of good faith, I'll be frank. I can help Columbina track down the iridescent moon's marrow, which will help her restore more of her power. Anyway, what else is on the agenda? Let's begin.
She says she'll be frank, then completely skips over the details. Looks like she doesn't want to give away too many secrets after all. But she clearly wants to change the subject. It'd be awkward if I tried to bring it up again now. I guess we'll just have to go along with it. She's the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers after all. One look and you can tell she's not someone you'd want to mess with.
Well, since Miss Arlecchino sounds confident in her ability to handle that, we'll proceed to the next topic. Yehoda, time to share that top-secret intel.
Alright, listen up everyone. First, we now know that Rerir was originally a Conrian secret agent whose primary mission was to hunt down and assassinate the so-called Dregs of the Crimson Moon.
The Dregs of the Crimson Moon?
In the memories, there was a lot of talk about the Crimson Moon and Eclipse, and a whole bunch of other stuff from the time of Conria.
To my knowledge, those were the names of two different Conrian dynasties. Long, long ago, it is said that the people of Conria worshipped the Crimson Moon, drawing a mysterious power from its reflection. But one day, a coup saw the Crimson Moon eclipsed, hence the name of the new dynasty that replaced it, and how it became the new emblem of Conria.
Still, long after the Crimson Moon dynasty had fallen, the last ruler of the Eclipse dynasty, the Vinster King, still coveted the secrets it left behind. So, he sent the Rehir of Solnari to secretly hunt down the Crimson Moon's few remaining followers. In those days, Rerir showed no signs of madness. In fact, he was as normal as any other person. Oh, and he had a fiancé, or at least a would-be fiancé, called What's the matter?
Verfnir, Freindaughter, Flinders.
Interesting. Anything else? What about this would-be fiancé of his? Do we...
Well, she was a researcher at the Universitas Magistrorum, but it felt like she was hiding some kind of secret.
Oh, and one more thing. For some reason, Rerir's fragment also contains some of Thelindis' memories, though only a very small portion.
Well, no shortage of potential leads, I'll give you that. In any case, it sounds like we can conclude that while Thelindis was still around, Rerir appeared to be lucid and quite normal. Thelindis, it seems, must have been the one thing in this world that he couldn't let go of. Tell me though, were these pure-blood Conrians we're talking about here?
Why do you need to know that? Hold on. If she was a pure-blood Conrian... Oh yeah! Just like how it was with the captain!
If we could somehow find her, do you think there's any chance Rerir might regain some of his sanity?
It's possible, but it would take a miracle. We can't pin all our hopes on that. That merchant who Nefer knows, Dori Sangama Bay. Maybe we could hire her to look into it.
Alright then. Let's keep working in our separate teams. Traveler, Paimon, Kutar, and Miss Arlecchino will go look for the iridescent moon's marrow. As for the others...
On the way over here, I noticed that the wild hunt monsters had grown even more frenzied in their search for Kutar. At this rate, the people living here will be in grave danger too. So I'm thinking of gathering together some of our followers to go wipe them out.
I'll head back to the curatorium and meet up with the boss.
Feels good knowing we've all got something to be getting on with. Given that the Wild Hunt has been a lot more active lately, the Lightkeepers have likely begun their own operations too. If that is the case, someone will need to pass the news on to Flint's. I'll hold the fort for now, then discuss our next move with Flint's, Ino, and Anefa when they get back.
All right then.
Well, the clock's ticking. If that's everything, we'll be on our way.
We'd better get moving too. We'll try to buy you as much time as we can.
Relax. Just do your thing. Now, I decided to call in some backup since things are getting so hairy. Our reinforcements should be here any minute now. Stay safe, everyone. Dismissed.
We're back. Did we get here a little early? Or a little late?
A tad late. The others have already set off. To summarize, our resident moon goddess has found us a new ally, and Boss Nefer has uncovered some promising info. Everything going smoothly on your end?
Not great. I don't know how long we can stall them for. The decoys are getting taken out way faster than we imagined. I'm gonna make some more later, but I need a timeout first. I'm so tired right now. Oh, right! Inefa, could you fill in Uncle Varka on what we just discussed with Flint's?
Sure. Uncle Varka, you previously told us about how when you went to investigate a source of the Wild Hunt in Amsvartnir, you discovered that it was just a diversion. But according to Flint's intel, several outbreaks of the Wild Hunt had already occurred in nor-kri in the period leading up to that. That was before Rerir had regained his body, when he was far from regaining his full strength. In other words, in theory at least, he still lacked the means to act in two places at once.
Flint's, with everything that's been happening, the Lightkeepers across nor-kri are rallying to fight back against the Wild Hunt. They're gonna need your help. I know, I'm sure you're capable of coming up with something far more effective than decoys. But for now, you should stay here and get some rest. Anefa and I will head back over to Amsvartnir to see if there's anything I missed.
I told you Uncle Varka would say that, didn't I? A deal is a deal. Not a word about my snack intake for the next week.
Database updated. Reliability of Ino's predictions increased.
What does that mean?
They were betting on how you'd respond after hearing their intel.
It's the obvious choice, isn't it? That's hardly worth betting on.
We already decided that Anefa should go investigate the situation over at Amsvartnir on her own. You might as well stay here and keep watch. Someone needs to hang back and oversee our strategy meetings. And besides, you still haven't fully recovered from ambushing Rerir.
So I've ended up with the easiest assignment. Well, I appreciate it, everyone. See you when you get back.
Here, this will serve as a good spot to cross over.
Arlecchino, hold up a second. Since you brought us all this way, would you mind telling us what you've got planned? We still haven't got the slightest idea what's going on here. And if even Columbina doesn't know where the iridescent moon's marrow is, how do you?
Simple. Because I am an inheritor of the royal bloodline of the Crimson Moon. and one of the last surviving embers of the two worlds' flames.
Huh? Are you serious? Isn't you're a descendant of that Crimson Moon dynasty we were just talking about? The one—
Your surprise is understandable. I was also taken aback when I first learned of it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the signs had been there all along. When I was young, I discovered I could wield a very special kind of fire. It coursed like blood through my veins and smoldered away inside my nerves. What's more, whenever I experienced strong bursts of emotion or drew too deeply on this power, it was like some kind of presence within the fire would begin to gnaw away at me. Consume— Exactly. That is why my hands are like this too. At first, I saw it only as a curse, but once I became a harbinger, the jester apprised me of the truth. Together with my own investigations, over the past few years, there are several things that I have gradually come to understand. For instance, take the so-called Crimson Moon. In truth, it is nothing more than the shattered remnants of the iridescent moon, fused with the abyss to prolong its lifespan. Since this blood flame was bestowed upon me by the Crimson Moon, it is a fusion of the iridescent moon's former power and the corruption of the abyss. You all understand the nature of the abyss well enough. I draw upon its power, and in return, it hungers for my soul. This strange blackness is the mark of corruption it has left behind.
If I recall correctly, you once told me that if the corruption ever made it to your heart, you'd become a completely different person.
Yes, and that's the reason I'm always careful not to push my power too far. It's essentially a never-ending tug of war.
Oh, sounds intense.
Anyway, the rest of my story can wait. Is there anything else about the Crimson Moon or the iridescent moon that you're unclear about?
Paimon has a question. So, the Crimson Moon that the Karians used to worship was actually the iridescent moon, right? Which was one of the three moon sisters. Does that mean that the Karians were to the Crimson Moon as the Frost Moon Scions are to the Frost Moon?
So much of that history has been lost. We have no way of knowing exactly what they were like. But I would suspect that the Conrians weren't as devout in their moon worship as it might appear. The iridescent moon's remains simply served as their link to the abyss. Later on, perhaps someone discovered a way to make direct contact with the abyss. Or maybe there was some kind of ideological divide. Either way, a dissenting faction staged a coup and drove out the royal heirs of the Crimson Moon dynasty. Still, even with the dark sun looming high overhead, the Crimson Moon's glow never truly faded. If you want living proof, it's standing right before you.
The first time we met, I sensed something familiar in your presence. When I looked at you, I felt I could see that mysterious red moon in the corner of my eye. In your flames, I saw its broken image, surrounded by a strange black aura.
Well, I appreciate that you kept it to yourself. Much about the Crimson Moon is still a mystery, and I'd prefer not to end up as the object of an insane research project. Anyway, time is against us here, so if there's any other questions, they'll have to wait. I just want to make sure I've got one thing straight. In her letters, Sandrone mentioned that since you are unable to contain the iridescent moon's marrow yourself, you intend to leave it in my custody. Correct?
That's right. For now, it's the only way I can pay you back for your help. The iridescent moon is already part of who you are, so with its marrow in your possession, you'll be even more powerful than before.
Deal. Then let's get started.
Get what started? What does this place have to do with the Crimson Moon?
When I first became a harbinger, the jester gave me a book called Paranhari, also known as Leobranto Inamorato. You should be able to buy a copy next time you're in Fontaine. It's a love story set in the Crimson Moon era, but setting aside the tangled romances of its characters, it also records a few interesting details. In the Crimson Moon era, or so the story goes, there was an orphanage that received children from beyond the bounds of this world, and subjected them to a peculiar induction ceremony.
Beyond the bounds of this world? For real? And what kind of induction ceremony?
The Crimson Moon sages looked beyond this world for beings with powers that surpassed the gods. But fearing they might lose control, they subjected these children to a process of refinement. They made these children crawl up a fireplace and kept asking them, "Have you died? Did you see it?" Until they finally admitted to having died and seen a crimson moon. The adults embraced the children who passed the ritual, telling them, "Within the fireplace, you have traversed the flames between two worlds. Here and now, you are born anew." The book leaves much unsaid, but I suspect that this was their way of branding the children they had enrolled, leaving an indelible mark upon them so that they would forever live in the Crimson Moon's light.
That explains why I can't sense the Crimson Moon's marrow in this world. It makes sense that it would be sealed in a special space that can only be accessed temporarily through some kind of ritual.
But there's no fireplace here! Do you see a chimney anywhere? Oh, are we supposed to build it ourselves? Okay, fine. Paimon will go find some bricks.
That won't be necessary. The fireplace is purely symbolic. The key to the ritual is crossing the flames between two worlds. In other words, the flames that burn within me. Those burned away by such flames leave behind a kind of ghostly afterimage in the world. In the days of Conria, people believed they could be used to bridge the gap between the two worlds of life and death. In short, I can open a passage to that space for you. That's the easy part. The catch is I'll need to stay on this side to keep the passage open, so I won't be able to come with you. Once you're inside, you'll have to find your own way. Very well. Then I'll open it up.
Traveler, spare me a little more moonlight if you would. I may need it. Thank you. I feel like I've recovered some of my strength now. It should be enough to move us across short distances and confront whatever dangers might await.
Mistress of the seven hues of ages past, great mother of the present, crimson-clad sovereign of the two realms, by fire severed, by fire renewed, I offer myself now and beseech your descent. One word of advice. As you're crossing over, no matter what voices you hear, do not—
Got it!
I sense a sinister gloom inside, but also the familiar light of the moon. I feel that I am about to meet an old friend who has changed beyond all recognition. All right, let's go.
that the abyss? It's practically filled the entire place. What now?
What a tragic sight. Fragments of your broken body, seized by the abyss and hung up aloft like mummified remains. Iridescent moon, was this truly what you wished for?
Careful! There's something spooky about this place. Feels like something is lurking in the fog. Paimon's right behind you. Whatever you do, don't run off without her. Huh? Huh? For real? That's way too high. There's no way we'll be able to reach it.
No, I'm not sensing anything up there. It's coming from under the mountain.
Let's see. Ah! There's some kind of weird shadow over the water. Wait, see that? Looks like a mechanism of some sort. Let's check it out. Hey, look at that! Now that the mechanism's running, the shadow in the water looks different. Do you think these mechanisms might be the key to unlocking the secret? Let's try to find more of them!
Felindis, we'll leave the rest of the research in your hands. We'll be heading back now.
I hope this isn't ruining date night.
Ugh. Mind your own business. Just leave me some snacks on the table.
Felindis? Is that Rear's girlfriend? How come we're hearing her voice here? Oh yeah! So, do you think she was studying this strange space all along?
The abyss has made this space extremely unstable. Maybe that's why some of the things she said and did were preserved here, like echoes or after images.
Whenever I see this view, it takes me back to a poem from my childhood. Waning moon, oh lifeless damsel, weeping on the mountain crest, mourning still in wistful tone, her fragile soul now laid to rest. For me, of all people, to be here investigating the mysteries of the Crimson Moon space, is it a coincidence or something more? With the Abyss inhibitors in place, I should be able to access the chamber with the moon marrow. Oh, Rerir, with every step you take, you're drifting further from what you truly desire. But you're not the root of the problem. Ever since that outsider set foot in Conria, the Vinster King has sunken deeper into madness. If only I could get my hands on that outsider.
Hey look! The moon's reflection is back to normal! Felindis' voice mentioned a chamber with the moon marrow. Do you think maybe it's hidden in the moon's reflection?
It must be. For within it, I sense the fragile aura of a dying soul.
Then there's no time to lose! Let's go! We finally did it!
The iridescent moon's marrow, still burning away like an undying flame, yet now contaminated by the abyss. If we can purify the abyssal power within, we should be able to obtain its untainted essence.
It's so cold.
Is it you? Are you here?
Huh? Are you talking to us?
At long last, I can see you once more. Our fates have crossed, and I am finally free. I'm sorry, I lied to you. Even knowing what was to come, I still couldn't let go of the fear in my heart as death drew near. The moment the moon shattered, my body began to split apart piece by piece. Like I was being cut into pieces by 1,000 blunt blades. My thoughts scattered as the cold crept in, but I could not bear to fade away like that. Tell me, what was it that brought you to us all that time ago? If only I had possessed your courage, then I might have been spared this torment more painful than death. You look so puzzled. That's how I felt too when I first saw you. But trust me when I say that everything happens for a reason. Farewell.
What was that all about? Was that the goddess of the iridescent moon? Oh, it sounded like she was speaking to a long-lost friend. But none of us have ever met her before, right?
Perhaps. She took me for the goddess of the frost moon she once knew. For a fading soul like hers, our auras must be too similar to tell apart.
But anyway, we've got the iridescent moon's marrow now. That should help you regain your strength, right? Alright, time to leave this place and meet back up with Arlecchino. Let's go! That's odd. This place looks different than when we came in.
Waning moon,
huh?
oh lifeless damsel.
Oh. Hurry! The place is collapsing!
It wants to trap us here.
Who's it? The Abyss?
Now we've taken the moon marrow. All that's left here is a dark will. It will show us no mercy.
Give it back! The crimson moons! My marrow! My heart!
Finally! Huh? Oh no! The exit's blocked! They're back! Now what do we do?
This is where you fall. Witness my rise. What are you waiting for?
Was that you, Arlecchino? Did you save us? Wait, your hands! They're...
Oh, this? Don't worry. It's a small price to pay. The Abyss wanted to trap you inside, and I defied its will by bringing you out. No wonder it's a little angry. No. I have paid the price, albeit a small one, and it cannot be undone. My hands have already fused with the Abyss. Purification would simply destroy whatever's left of them.
But surely... Oh... We're so sorry, Arlecchino. Paimon can't believe you'd make a sacrifice like this for us.
As much as I'd like to call it a favor, The truth is, I was simply holding up my end of the deal. Well, Columbina.
Yes, you did your part. And as promised, I will leave the iridescent moon's marrow in your care. From this day forth, may the two worlds' flames burn ever more brightly.
I'll take that as a blessing. Now, Columbina, give me your hand. Accept this moonlight I offer in return. Feeling stronger?
Hey, Columbina! Are you okay?
I'm fine. Our powers are a little at odds, that's all.
By the Frost Moon's authority alone, wielding the power of the other moons was always going to be a stretch. Still, I think it's fair to say that your strength has returned, at least to the level it was at as Third Harbinger.
It's still not enough. There's no way I can hope to challenge Rarier like this. Just one more ray of moonlight, if you would. It's okay. I can take it.
How about now? Fighting fit?
At the very least, I won't have to stay hidden like before. I want to see him gone from nor-kri. The ray here of Solnari and his wild hunt must be sent back where they belong.
Well, it's good to have something to aim for. You certainly seem more alive now than you did earlier. When I first met you, you didn't strike me as a ray of moonlight. More like a wisp of fog drifting in from who knows where, ready to scatter at the first sign of a breeze. But now, you're full of vitality. Just like the Frost Moon, once the brightest of them all. May you keep shining, Columbina. This is who you are.
Thank you. Look after yourself too, Arlecchino. I know you have plans of your own, and that's why you're always seeking to grow stronger. But whatever you're after, don't let the Abyss take a hold of you. I do not wish to see you go down the same path as Rarier.
I appreciate the concern, Columbina. Although perhaps it's time you took a new name.
A new name?
Kutar, the Moon Maiden, Columbina, they're nothing more than code names. They describe who she is and the roles she's played, but they're not her real name. We often use code names in the House of the Hearth, too. But it's knowing your real name that keeps you grounded. Up till now, you've been living a wandering life, so you've probably never really cared. All I'll say is this. Once you've defeated Rarier, give it some thought. All right, that's it from me. I'll get you back safely first, then go meet up with Sandrone.
You're the best!
I appreciate the gesture. It speaks to your good character. Anyway, let's get going. There are more urgent things to do right now than trade compliments.
Do you think the others are making good progress? Hope it's all going smoothly. Oh, hey look! They made it back as well! Prince! Lama! How did it all go?
All is well, thank you. Nefer and Yehoda had to stay at the curatorium to wrap things up, so they won't be joining us for now.
I ran into Miss Nefa and Miss Aino on the way back. Their work is still in progress, so I suspect they won't be back for a while either.
You seem rather cheerful today, Mr. Flintz.
I certainly am. I achieved what I set out to do and came away with more than I bargained for. Fighting alone can get quite tedious, but I had the good fortune to run into a pair of brave young warriors.
We meet again. How have you been?
Albedo! What are you doing here?
Thankfully, tracking you down turned out to be a lot simpler than we envisaged.
These two courageously lent me a hand while I was fighting the Wild Hunt. When they told me they were Servarka's colleagues, it all made sense. And given how people of outstanding talent tend to cross paths, it's no wonder you're already acquainted.
So, who's your travel buddy, Albedo?
Why don't you come and introduce yourself?
A gentleman of few words, I see. And a rather stern countenance. I presumed you were acquainted with him. Is that not the case?
It's nice to meet you. Again. We've technically met before.
Wait a sec! You're Minnie Durin!
That's right. It's me. I'm glad to see you again.
By the way, he says it's okay if you drop the mini.
Yeah, I'm not as mini as I used to be.
Interesting, isn't it? The first step towards blending into human society appears to be reflecting on whether one's name really reflects who they are.
Wow! You look so different! In a good way, of course. It's great to see you looking so healthy.
Thank you, Paimon. And although you're as mini as ever, I understand that diminutives don't always convey endearment. I'll be sure to simply call you Paimon as a sign of my great respect for you.
Wow! You're such a smooth talker now. Paimon could get used to this. From now on, you may refer to her as your esteemed guide, Paimon.
Personally, I think our little Paimon is the perfect size. When people call her Little Paimon, it's just because she's so adorable that they can't help themselves. If that's not a sign of endearment, what is?
You're absolutely right, Miss Lauma. My brother still has a long road ahead of him when it comes to understanding human relationships.
Anyway, speaking of long journeys, didn't Columbina, leave with you? How come she isn't back yet?
She's been catching up with old friends. Wouldn't be surprised if she stopped for a cup of tea, or 10 on the way back.
Uh-oh. People are talking about me. Hope it's nothing negative.
Judging from your expressions, I'm guessing it all went well?
It's getting crowded here. I'll go grab some chairs.
No need. This is a job for an alchemist. I'll whip some up momentarily.
Thank you for your hospitality, ladies and gentlemen, but I was merely escorting my friends back. I'll be meeting Sandrone shortly, as we still have some things to discuss. It's been a pleasure, everyone. But this is where I'll say goodbye.
We really appreciate your help.
Oh, come on. Spare the formalities. I'm just glad I could help out some true friends.
I understand. Well, bye for now. Harlequino.
Oh, this place is hopping. It's probably a good thing one of us left. Otherwise, we might not fit all these people in.
Are you saying we're about to run out of chairs?
As a matter of fact, I am. Come on in and see for yourself. I overheard your little chit-chat outside, by the way. With Miss Columbina's colleague gone, we should be back to the original crew plus the other colleagues I brought in. Though, it looks like we have another new face. Someone else managed to rope in a colleague too?
Frankly, you and Paimon are the only people I know here.
This here is Deansliff, colleague of Tibet's greatest guide, Paimon, and greatest adventurer, the Traveler. Well, not exactly colleagues, more sort of friends.
When someone else jumps in to do the announcing, you know you're speaking to someone important.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Note to self. Once Paimon knows your name, the rest of the world will soon follow.
When he comes looking for us, it's usually something important. Paimon's guessing you've heard about the Wild Hunt, then.
From the looks of it, you're about to hold a meeting. If I were to say that the Wild Hunt is our mutual enemy, would that earn me a seat at the table?
As the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Mr. Dainsliff, there's a seat with your name on it. Though, I can't promise the same for everyone else. Hey, Albedo, think you can rustle up a couple more chairs?
After all this time apart, Grandmaster Varka's first order is to rustle up a couple more chairs. I've missed this.
Is he being sarcastic?
Hey, he's your brother. Why are you asking us?
I've still got a lot to learn about the nuances of human conversation. Trying to decipher Albedo's way of speaking has been like jumping in at the deep end.
Oh, good point. Paimon gets you now. Don't sweat it. There are people who go their whole lives without getting the hang of it. You're ahead of the game already.
I wonder what's taking Nefer so long.
Perhaps you should go and check in with her. If anyone can hurry her along, it's you.
I just got back from the curatorium. Besides, aren't you curious to see what's taking her so long?
Miss Nefer doesn't strike me as the type to share secrets. And since gathering intel is her specialty, I'm guessing she'd prefer to keep her methods confidential. Under such circumstances, would it not be tactless for me to impose?
Oh, but it's fine for me to impose.
What can I say? You have an unrivaled ability to garner people's affection, Miss Moonchanter. Besides, you have far more in common with her than I do.
All right, then.
Impressive. She barely fought back at all. I admire your powers of persuasion, my friend.
As I'm sure Miss Lauma will realize soon enough, the trick in life is to always pitch in with other people's responsibilities so that you can be selective with your own.
Another trick is to simply hide in the background.
Spoken like a true sage.
Anyway, looks like we've got some time to kill before the meeting. Let's take a little breather, folks. And feel free to chat amongst yourselves. We'll get down to business once the other two arrive.
Is there something you'd like to say to me?
Yeah! For starters, why'd you just show up here without even giving us a heads up?
If you think back to our previous interactions, you may recall that that's hardly out of character for me.
You do have a point there. Oh yeah, you'll need to find somewhere to stay the night too, right? Want to tag along with us? You never know. We might get a group discount.
Sure, let's do that.
Great! Paimon will handle it! And in return, we can get Dainslift to be our very own personal bodyguard.
If that's what you had in mind, you should have said so sooner. I'd be happy to help.
Oh, okay then. Paimon was only kidding, but good to know. Anyway, since we're all here together, we might as well watch each other's backs. That's just what friends do, right?
Indeed. Thank...
Truth be told, I can't remember the last time I was in a meeting with so many people.
You're not alone there, my friend. The Lightkeepers also struggle to bring everyone together for a serious discussion.
I don't doubt that. I've only ever met two Ratniki, one being you, and the other being that young guy, Itlua.
Itlua is a good apple. I'll give him that. He's kind, honest, and regularly delivers supplies to my lighthouse. A true Ratnik to the core. In that sense, he puts me to shame.
So you're what? A fake Ratnik? That's what it sounds like you're saying. But I get the feeling that's not quite what you meant. Come on, why the awkward silence?
Sorry. I'm not even gonna bother trying to hide it. You've known all along, haven't you, my friend? Now that was an awkward silence.
Let's just keep this between ourselves. Probably best if Itlua doesn't know, huh?
That goes without saying. Gotta be careful what you share with youngsters, after all.
Anyone else in the know? Let me guess. The Traveler and Paimon?
It's dangerous being too sharp for one's own good, you know.
Then, in the name of the Animo Archon Barbatos himself, I swear, your secret's safe with me.
When we went for drinks, you said that you and Barbatos were practically best buds. In the light of that claim, do you really expect me to take your oath seriously?
Of course. Just as long as you don't go spreading around the fact that I'm close with Barbatos, all right?
Fair enough, then. Nothing like a bit of mutual leverage to seal the bonds of friendship.
You're both awfully quiet. Why don't I start us off with an icebreaker?
Much obliged.
Have either of you ever had your portrait painted? If not, I'd be glad to help.
That sounds like a lovely idea. You know how to paint, then?
I dabble occasionally.
He's an excellent painter. Tables, chairs, people, dragons, you name it. He'll paint it for you.
I'm flattered.
If I ever get the chance, I'd like to give it a try myself.
I'll bear that in mind. Anyway, how about you, Durin? What sort of portrait would you prefer?
Oh, I'd be fine with anything. Whatever style feels best to you.
Very well. Then I'll play it by ear.
You can replicate any style I want?
I can try. If you show me a sample, I'll do my best to match it.
Thank you. In that case, I'll dig up some reference material for you.
Ah, Miss Nefer. You made it after all. But what about Yehoda?
I'm here to give you an update on how things are going on our end. Once this is over, I'll be heading straight back to continue my work. I left Yehoda back at the curatorium to watch over things while I'm gone.
Huh. So much for just this once.
Shh! Not so loud! We're on a roll here! What if she remembers and suddenly decides to back out?
Did you say something, Mr. Varka?
Huh? I didn't say anything. Right, Flints?
Must have been a frog. They get so noisy around here at nighttime. It's like they're putting on a concert in the background.
Anyway, before we begin, there's a few introductions to make. Let me start by saying that it's an honor to be speaking before so many distinguished colleagues and collaborators. First up, we have Miss Lauma. As Moon Chanter, she's the leader of the Frost Moon Scions, a local religious community in nor-kri. Then there's Miss Nefer, boss of the Curatorium of Secrets, an intel gatherer extraordinaire. Nefer is leading the investigation into Rerer's background, assisted by Yehoda and Lauma. From the little I've heard, they're making some great progress. Over here, we have Mr. Flints, a ratnik and guardian of the abandoned lighthouse. In our last operation, he courageously distracted the Wild Hunt to buy time for the rest of us. For those of you who've never met, this is Mr. Albedo, a renowned alchemist and captain of the Knights of Favonius investigation team. By his side is a new face for us all, myself included, Mr. Durin, who has come to lend his aid. Next up, we have the Moon Maiden and former Fatui Harbinger, Miss Columbina. Then we have the Traveler, who's earned more titles than I could possibly hope to list out, so I'll spare you the rundown. And Paimon, the ultimate travel companion and quite possibly the best guide in all of Tevat.
Wow! That's a lot of people! Great turnout!
Miss Nefer, it looks like you might have another job coming your way, so, congratulations on the booming business, I guess.
You think I haven't got enough on my hands as it is? Who's looking for me now?
That would be me, Miss Nefer. I have a commission for you.
And you are?
Who I am doesn't matter right now. What does matter is that I'd like you to gather more intelligence about the Recher of Solnari.
Well, it's not as if we never take on anonymous commissions. But in your case, I'll have to decline. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say your job's probably more hassle than it's worth. Something about you seems like bad news.
It's my eyes, isn't it?
Conrian, I assume. And what's with the mask? Are you trying to hide your identity? In any case, the fact that you're even still alive raises an awful lot of questions for me.
My name is Dainsleif, and yes, I am from Conria. As I'm sure you're aware, the Recher of Solnari's real name is Rerir. He was one—
Really? Then you must have been quite an influential figure yourself.
You flatter me, but none of that matters anymore. My point was simply to clarify why I have asked Miss Nefer to investigate Rerir's background.
So you're both from Conria, and it sounds like you used to be friends? What am I missing here? Surely you already know how he became one of the Five Sinners.
I'll tell you everything I know. The history of Conria, the names and identities of the Five Sinners. I remember it all like it was yesterday. I have never spoken openly of this before. But the truth was exactly as people say. The Five Sinners were each driven by their own desires, and it was by playing upon these that the Abyss tempted them to their fall, tearing Conria apart in the process. The visionary, Vedafenir, who wished to foretell the future, the wise, Haroptatir, who sought limitless knowledge. Gold, Rhine-daughter, who desired to create life. The foul, Sertologi, who pursued supreme strength. And last, but not least, Raker of Solnari, Rerir, Ravager of the Moon. Of the five, Rerir is the only one who remains a mystery to me. He never harbored grand ambitions, so what changed in the space of a single night? How did he come to fall like the others?
In other words, you're saying that his change came as a shock to you, and you have no idea what actually happened?
That's right.
You mentioned how the Abyss tempted them, which led to their fall. But what did that look like in practice? And what other context can you give me about the events of that time? The more detail you can give me, the better.
Strangely, now that it comes to it, I hardly know where to begin. The fateful night took place during the era of the Eclipse Dynasty. One day, my elder brother, the visionary, Vedifenir, was summoned to the palace by the Vinster King, only for the king to gouge out his eyes and cast him into the dungeons. When I came to hear of this, my fury knew no bounds. I gathered together every ally I thought I had, and together, we set a night to storm the palace and free Ved. Centuries on, the memories of that night still haunt me like a never-ending nightmare. We broke through the palace gates, just like we had planned, each striking towards our separate targets. But then, I was betrayed. Even Vedifenir, the very person I had come to rescue, abandoned me and partook of the Abyss's power.
So, it's personal after all. Then tell me, Mr. Dainsleif, what price are you willing to pay? You, of all people, must know that nothing comes for free.
I cannot say what price would be worthy of such a commission. But know this. Rerir was not always a madman. Believe it or not, there was a time when he was just an ordinary man, working for the Conrian Intelligence Service. Uncovering the truth of Rerir's past is the only way to unravel this mystery. But before you decide if you will accept my commission, I will tell you more about him. Enough, I hope, to help you plan your next move.
Sounds pretty good to me. Feels like we just flagged down a random passerby, only to discover he's actually a master strategist who has a score to settle with our enemy.
Can I borrow your halo? It could be useful in the lighthouse.
Hey, enough with the wisecracks! Besides, isn't that lamp of yours bright enough already?
Relax. It was meant to be a compliment. If that was a little over the top for your liking, I'll make sure to tone it down next time.
I'll give your proposal some serious thought, Mr. Dainsleif. Let's speak in private once the meeting is over.
Before that, there's a few things I'd like to share.
Now that we've united the hearts of the three moons, your power should be greatly enhanced. But it seems like that hasn't happened yet.
I believe it will take a little longer. You've done so much for me, so I want to be completely honest with you all. Even though I'm doing a lot better now, the truth is, my recovery will likely be an ongoing process. From the moment I was born, my power has been slowly ebbing away. And that is because Teyvat has never accepted me. Even with the moons united as one, it seems my rejection cannot be undone. So far, I have yet to find a solution. It may turn out to be a problem that will plague me until the day I finally leave this place behind. Even so, I will do everything in my power to help you drive out the Ray here of Solnari. As Arlecchino put it, this is not about chasing the spoils of victory. It's just a gesture of heartfelt gratitude.
Kutar.
Defeating the Ray here of Solnari will be no easy task. While my strength slowly recovers, we'll also need to gather more intel.
Naturally. We should take all the help we can get if we hope to defeat him.
We've considered several viable plans now, but our choice hinges on the answers to a few key questions. Is it even possible to kill Rerir? What experiences shaped the person or monster he became? And what's he really after? Given Albedo's expertise in alchemy, I think we should leave him to try and answer the first of these questions.
Understood.
As for the other two, I'm afraid we'll have to count on you again, Miss Nefer. Believe me when I say it's not my wish to burden you. But right now, relying on your skills is our only option.
So you're placing all your hopes on me, huh?
We can't thank you enough for agreeing to help us. Honestly, I can hardly believe how lucky we are.
You sure have a talent for changing your tune, Miss Moonchanter. Timid like Yehoda one moment, then flinches insincere flattery the next.
Ladies, please. I must object to your portrayal of me. That's all. Feel free to keep bickering. Just pretend I'm not here.
I almost don't want to leave this room. I'm curious to see how this plays out.
I have faith in you, Miss Nefer. Something tells me you'll stand by us until the very end.
Oh? And what makes you so sure of that? What if I suddenly decide that my compensation is insufficient?
This isn't about the money. I can sense that you've got a deep-seated distaste for Rerir, and knowing you, that alone is motive enough.
Look at them getting along so well. Like two peas in a pod.
And I'm the one they accuse of insincere flattery. There is no justice.
Miss Lauma, you have to understand something. Unlike you, I don't actually enjoy having everyone's hopes on my shoulders.
Is that right? Well, maybe the fact that I'm willing to put my hopes in other people says more about me than you. But the fact is, I also trust you. And that's because I know that you're someone we can count on.
Anyway, we've got our plan, so let's get moving. Mr. Dainsleif, let's talk. And Traveler, once we're finished, if you've nothing else planned, I'd like you to come with me.
This whole experience is teaching me a lot. For instance, I now know that when other issues come up in the future, I'll have far more luck getting Lauma to convince Miss Nefer than trying to do it myself.
Hate to say it, friend, but that's one of the funniest things I've heard in a while.
Why? You think I've got it wrong?
Quite the opposite. But what makes it so hilarious is how long it's taken you to realize.